Good morning class. Today we are going to learn about unit number 4 of Geotechnical Engineering 4th semester. So in unit number 4 today we are going to learn about the stress distribution in soil mass, Boussinesq equation, point load and uniformly loaded over the rectangular and circular areas, and use of Newmark's chart. So what is stress distribution in a soil mass? Whenever we are applying the load, the stresses are developed and stress is calculated, load upon area. So in a vertical direction, at how much depth it is going to affect, so that is to be calculated, and that is known as your stress distribution in soil mass. If you are applying a point load, how much it is going to travel downward and radially, so that is what we need to calculate. So this is given by Boussinesq for single layer theory, that means only on the one layer of soil or one first layer of the soil, and again second layer and multi-layer are given by Burmisters, so that we are going to study in pavement analysis. So foundations and structures placed on the surface of the earth will produce stresses in the soil. Of course, whatever structures you are going to lay on the foundation and the foundation soil, so those are going to produce some of the stresses on the layer of soil. These stresses will decrease with distance from the load. So if you are having a point load at the center, so it will have maximum stress at the loading axis, and when it travels radially it will try to decrease. So how these stresses decrease depends upon the nature of the soil bearing the load. So whatever soil you are having, cohesive or non-cohesive soil, so it depends upon the strength of soil, how much stress it can take care of. So stress due to concentrated load. So what is stress due to concentrated load? The individual column footings or wheel loads may be replaced by equivalent point loads, provided that the stresses are to be calculated at points sufficiently far from the point of application of the load, point load. So students, whenever you are having a point load condition, that means whenever you are having a surface area and this is the point load, so below this will be the loading axis, application of the load. So this, how much is this depth which is affected, and then this will travel radially so far, and that radial distances will be taken as trial and error, and at that distances you need to calculate the stresses. Next is your vertical stress due to the concentrated load. So whenever we are having such loads, first is your Boussinesq formula, second is your Westergaard's formula. So we are going to study here the Boussinesq formula, and then we are going to learn Westergaard's formula in pavement analysis. So stress due to concentrated load, so that is given by Boussinesq formula for point loads, and Joseph Valentin Boussinesq, 13 March 1842 to 19 February 1929, was a French mathematician and physicist who made significant contributions to the theory of hydrodynamics, vibration, light and heat. Hydrodynamics, the theory of water resources, vibrations, machines, and light and heat, you all know. So all these were his remarkable achievements. So in 1885, Boussinesq developed a mathematical relationships for determining the normal and shear stresses. These are the two important points, normal and shear stresses at any point inside a homogeneous, elastic and isotropic mediums due to the concentrated load. So concentrated load is the most important part located at the surface. So some of the assumptions which he made before using this are: the soil mass is elastic, isotropic, having identical properties in all directions throughout, that is known as isotropic. Homogeneous means identical elastic properties and semi-infinite depth. Next is it obeys Hooke's law, that is it is directly proportional to the stress and strain. And the self-weight of the soil is ignored. The soil is initially unstressed. The change in volume of the soil upon application of loads onto it is neglected, and continuity of stress is considered to exist in the medium. The stresses are distributed symmetrically with respect to the z-axis. So stress due to the concentrated load, according to the Boussonet's analysis, the vertical stress increase at a point A caused by point load of magnitude P is given by. So this is the area, this is your vertical load or stress. So this is x, this is y, and this is z direction. So this is your point load P acting on the vertical direction z. So if you take a small element here and you recognize, so at the center of point A of elementary area, so from the center point of the point of application of the point P to the center of point A is your radial distance r. With respect to the horizontal distance, radial distance at the surface area to the point of application on the vertical direction on point A with respect to delta sigma z, that is r, and the distance is xy and total depth is z with respect to the point A. So delta sigma z, delta sigma x and y are the respective stresses developed in the 3 dimensions. So stresses due to the concentrated load according to Boussonet's is, if we consider a 2-dimensional figure, then this is your point load P with respect to the radial distance r with the horizontal distance r with respect to the depth z, and this is your point A with respect to the vertical stress. So this is given by this formula: sigma z equals to 3 times P is your load divided by 2 pi into z is the depth, and 1 plus r is the radial horizontal distance upon z depth square raised to power 5 by 2, or Pz equals to P upon z squares into Ib, rest is the Ib. So when you are studying the stress according to this, then equation for the vertical stresses are directly proportional to the load, inversely proportional to the depth squared, and proportional to some function of the ratio r by z. It should be noted that the expression for z is independent of elastic modulus E and Poisson's ratio mu, that is stress increase with depth is a function of geometry only. So nothing is given specific, it is depending upon the geometry of the concentrated load. So vertical stress in soil pressure distribution diagram, equation may be used to draw 3 types of pressure distribution. They are the vertical stress distribution on a horizontal plane, that is most important. First is the horizontal plane at a depth z below the ground surface. Second is the vertical stress on the vertical plane at a distance r from the load point, and third are the isobars. So next is vertical stress in soil distribution on horizontal plane. First point we need to discuss. So vertical stress distribution on horizontal plane at depth z below the ground surface. So how you are going to calculate this? If you are having the load P on the ground surface, So this is your first stresses develop and this is your second stresses develop. So these are the stresses which are developed with respect to point P when your surface is horizontal at a depth Z. Then again vertical stresses in soil distribution on vertical plane. So the vertical stress distribution on vertical plane at distance of r from point load. This is your second condition. So this is your point P and this is the stress developed on the vertical side Z and this is your radial distance r. Next is your isobars. So an isobar is a line which connects all points of equal stress below the ground surface. In other words, an isobar is a stress isobar. So if your point P or load P is acting on the surface, then these are the isobars stresses developed with respect to this load with respect to stress at first Z1, second Z2 and third Z3. So this is how you need to calculate the isobars. So vertical stress in soil because of uniformly loaded circular area. So this is with respect to the following. So under the center of the loading we are having the stresses for uniformly circular load. So if you are having such a circular load, then this is the radial distance and this will be the distribution of the loading under the stress Z depth at center of the area A. So this is how the loading takes place and this is your A dash and Z depth with respect to A point. So this stress is calculated by this formula for uniformly loaded circular area. Now the vertical stress in the soil for rectangular loaded area. So if you are having the rectangular loaded area, then you have the formula like this, and for this QZ equals to Q0 IZ. So for this IZ is the influence factor depending upon L by Z and B by Z, length and breadth with respect to the depth, and for this we are having the influence factor which can be expressed as, for this is your rectangular area for length L and B, and this is your loading from this area to this area and this area to this area. So this is the point A dash and this is point A at a depth Z. So if you see this will be the distribution of loading Q with respect to length L and B, and this is your point A with respect to the Z, and at this depth you need to calculate the stress. So when you need to calculate IZ, this is the formula with respect to M and N, and for that M is L by Z and N is B by Z. So for this we need to calculate the stresses. Now Newmas, one of the scientists who has developed the method to calculate the stresses on the foundations with respect to any of the surface area. So the chart provides a graphical method for calculating the stress increased due to uniformly loaded region of arbitrary shape resting on deep homogeneous isotropic elastic region. So this chart gives concentrated circles which we develop squares, and from that we need to calculate the stresses. So most of the charts having the square contributes 1 by 200 or 0.005 units of the stress. So for that you are having this chart, and if you develop squares then you can see that by this concentric circles these squares are near about 1 by 200, the influence value of 0.005. So from this you are having the total block charts of 200 and influence value 1 by 200. So this is the chart for horizontal area, again 0.005. So this is how you need to calculate the stresses using Newman's chart also. So thank you for today.